This is an admission of guilt. My public defender told me not to write this, but I need to get it off my chest. I've asked him to transcribe it word for word and to share with whoever will believe me. Just know that I am so sorry for all I've done. God forgive me. From June 2012 to around April 2015, I killed 6 people. The first was an accident, I swear. I don't even remember her name now. I think she went by Jamie. But I've been mistaken before. She was a hooker I picked up along the I-10. Jamie said she could handle the violent stuff. That's what had gotten me off at that time. Now she's currently floating in Lake Pontchartrain. I weighed her down with an old Chevy engine block and dumped her over the bridge into Mandeville. If you sweep the river, I'm sure you'll find her. While I was in high school, I had gotten into heroin. For a few hours, I'd feel something besides anger and disgust, the prevailing emotions in my pitiful life. The longer I kept using, the less euphoric each high was. When I had realized I had killed her, it was like the first high all over again. I had become the monster that Dateline would warn you about, and I reveled in it. The next 5 times couldn't possibly live up to the first, but that wouldn't stop me from chasing the dragon. They're all hookers, probably reported missing somewhere. I made it quick for them, I promise. It's more than Jamie ever got. They're all out near the Mississippi River Trail. Maybe 15 miles in, there's a rock with people's initials carved into it. Go off the trail and head due north. I didn't bury them or anything. I like looking at them too much. Maybe sometimes, if I was feeling cautious, I'd cover them up with some brush before I left, but usually I wanted them to be found. I laid them out in a neat row, arms resting on their chests. I wanted them to look presentable for when they'd meet God. Bring some dogs and you'll find them right away, what's left of them. I used to go there every day just to spend time with them. Each one was like a girlfriend I never had growing up. And I had 5 just for me. I never even knew their names, trust me, when I said they were just as beautiful in death as they were in life. I can't really say I ever really regretted much, but I regret not keeping Jamie there with them. They were my new heroine, and I was addicted quick. The thrill of getting caught with 5 dead, beautiful women scratched that certain itch for some reason. More than the act of killing them, surprisingly. I knew I couldn't keep them forever, but I tried to. I really did. But they were too far gone by the time I had made that choice. And I couldn't keep them down, not even cooked. I eventually settled for a lock of hair from each. If you look in my desk at home, you'll find a secret compartment in the bottom right drawer. Look there. I had them for a few weeks. I'm not sure exactly how long. Those days are kinda hazy. I remember sometimes I had to scare off the local wildlife. Other than that, life was good. Until the maggots came. At first it was just a few filthy scavengers trying to ruin everything. I tried to pluck them off, but they would just come back the next day. Even when I ate them, I'd find just as much the next visit. I hated them with every fiber of my being, which sounds ridiculous now. This was my artwork, my escape, my fucking heroin. And here they were, shitting all over it. Eventually, I got desperate. I stole some chemicals to spray them down with. I had figured that would keep them off until winter. There was a small twinge of satisfaction as I watched the maggots futilely try to run from the noxious liquid. I was certain that I had won, so I enjoyed a lovely day with my lovely ladies. Sure, they were missing some chunks, but who doesn't have some skin flaws? It was the last day I would have with them. Sometimes I had wished I had stayed just a little bit longer. I missed them something fierce. They were my girls, you know. On my last venture out into the woods, something had felt off. An evil presence seemed to be hanging over my head. I hurried through the trail, ignoring any and everyone else along the way. I felt the need to protect them from whatever was wrong. Maybe it was the chemicals. Maybe if I hadn't left, this never would have happened. When I got to the ladies, they were covered in maggots, head to toe. They were almost down to the bone. Various organs were clearly visible, although that wasn't what bothered me. This wasn't how I left them yesterday. Their bodies were twisted and distorted, and they were arranged in a semicircle. It was as if they had drunkenly danced all night and passed out on the forest floor. I vomited. I was sure someone had found my dumping spot and that I was about to be caught. Somehow I managed to stumble back. I don't remember much from that walk. Have you ever been in a situation where you were certain you were going to die, but then somehow you miraculously survive? Imagine that feeling of impending doom, except it didn't go away. I thought that maybe the cops had found my site and were fucking with me. That any minute SWAT was going to come out of the woods and bring me straight to the electric chair. But they didn't. I sat in my car for an hour before leaving. Back then I didn't have much money. I don't now, but I didn't then either. I used to boost cars and sell them to a chop shop. Something had to feed that vice of mine. Sometimes I'd keep a car for a few days before turning it in. It was one of those days. Of course, it was a Monday, too, which was just the cherry on top. After I'd pulled out of the trail, I was almost instantly stopped by highway patrol. Someone had reported an erratic man stumbling along the trail. Just my fucking luck. My luck continued when Judge Freeman, a notorious hard-ass, was selected to preside over my case. The irony was not lost on me. I was sentenced to 5 years for grand theft auto and sent here, Louisiana State Penitentiary, for rehabilitation. My first offense, too. Not long after I got here, I was involved in a nasty altercation. They tell me he'll live, but not well. They started giving me some pills after my psych eval. I don't know what they were called, I just took them when I was told to. Most days were good days, where I'd feel so much remorse for what I had done that I often contemplated putting myself down. Hell, I tried once. Guards only care about you living if they think they'll look bad after you die. Should have just left me hanging. Eventually, they switched up my meds and took away my sheets. I even got a new cell to myself since I don't play nice with anyone. I hid my new pills under my tongue and spit them out into the toilet when I got back to my cell. Once the old ones were out of my system, I didn't feel the need to kill myself anymore. All I had to do was kick back, and in 5 years, I'd be back out. The first thing I had planned was to visit Judge Freeman. Life was good. Until the maggots came.